All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a really powerful and maybe, yeah, a pretty uncomfortable idea when it comes to player development. It's the silent force that's out there, shaping and sometimes even breaking an athlete's true potential.
I mean, just let that quote hang in the air for a second. It's from Coach Nicholas Serenati, and it just completely flips so much of what we think we know right on its head.
Because what if the very thing we're doing to help, the constant feedback, the perfectly structured drills, the shouts from the sideline, what if that's actually the problem? That's the trap that so many well-meaning coaches and parents fall right into. Okay, so first things first, let's really look in the mirror here and talk about our own instincts. Because when a player hits a wall, our first reaction, well, it's often the exact opposite of what they need. Seriously, think about it. You've seen it, right? A young athlete is struggling. They're just stuck. What's that gut reaction? What do you want to do? For almost all of us, the impulse is to jump in and do more. Our brain just screams more. They need more reps, more instruction, more help. But here's the thing. Most players aren't stuck because they're lacking information. The truth is, they are absolutely drowning in it. They need less noise, not more. And this is what makes it so tough. The reason this is such a tricky problem to solve is that overcoaching, it feels so productive. It looks and sounds like good coaching is happening, but so often it's just an illusion. This slide just lays it out so clearly. What feels like productive work is actually just creating compliance. What looks like active, engaged coaching is really building dependency. And that constant stream of feedback we think is so helpful, turns out it's creating fragile athletes who just can't think for themselves. So let's drill down on that word compliance, because it's the key. What it means is that a player looks like they're learning, but they're not actually adapting. They're just following a recipe. And yeah, it might look great in a neat, tidy drill, but it totally falls apart in the chaos of a real game.
And this right here, this is the headline. Just because there's a lot of movement and noise doesn't mean real learning is happening. All that activity is not the same as adaptation.
So what's the big deal? Where does this all break down? It breaks down on game day. That's when it matters most, and that's where the real price of overcoaching becomes painfully clear. See, in a game, there's no pause button. An overcoached player, they hesitate. They're looking to the sideline, waiting for an instruction that isn't coming. Their confidence just shatters after one mistake because they've never learned to trust their own gut. And creativity, forget about it. They're not playing to win. They're playing not to mess up. And let's be honest, this all starts on the sideline. It's that constant stream of noise from well-meaning adults that usually sounds a little something like this. It always starts simple, right? We see a player get the ball, and our immediate instinct is to solve the problem for them. Time, you've got time. And then a defender gets close, so of course we shout the next thing they need to know. Man on, watch out. Before they can even process that, we're already telling them what the solution is. Pass it, just pass it. And then, when things get a little messy, the panic button gets hit. Clear it, just get it out of there. And that is the devastating cost. Every single one of those shouts is a stolen opportunity. It's one less chance for the player to see the game for themselves, to process it, and to make their own call. We think we're helping, but we're actually just training them to be dependent on us. Okay, so that's the problem. How do we fix it? Well, it takes a huge shift in how we think about coaching. It's about moving from teaching to training, from giving them the answers to designing problems for them to solve. This slide really breaks down the two mindsets. On the left, you've got the overcoaching model. It's like giving players the puzzle pieces one by one. But on the right, that's the elite model. You create a world where players have to figure out how the pieces fit together on their own. Instead of commanding them where to pass, you set up a game with constraints, like you can only score after 3 passes. You engineer an experience that forces them to find the solution. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, great coaches are super intentional. They watch way more than they talk. They let players struggle a bit because they know that struggle, that's where the real growth is. They coach big ideas, like find space, not every tiny little action. And, maybe most importantly, they let the play finish before they give feedback. They let the player feel the result of their choice first. It really all comes down to the power of restraint. It's about playing the long game. It's about building players who are going to thrive years from now, not just get a result in this weekend's game. So here it is. This is the ultimate litmus test for any coach, any parent. We have to stop asking ourselves, did I explain that well? The only question that really matters is this one. Did the players solve the problem on their own under pressure? Because if the answer to that question is no, then we have to be honest. No matter how good our coaching sounded, it didn't actually work. The learning never transferred from our brain into theirs. So we'll end on this thought right here. It feels risky to be quiet, to give players the space to fail, and to really trust them to figure things out. But if the goal is to build intelligent, adaptable, truly resilient players, then silence, space, and trust, they aren't risks, they are absolute requirements.